because of that. But, I mean, he's not a neo-Nazi, so that didn't go very far. You know, spreading stories about my sex life, about Von's sex life, you know, just all kinds of things calculated to embarrass us and upset us. You know, he called my mother and told her all kinds of things about me. And fortunately, my mother called me and said, "This is a terrible person. He must be working for Scientology." So it didn't really have the effect that they were trying to create. So then they wrote a very long, like, you know, 14 or 15 page booklet about us. And I mean, to tell you, it was really pretty sleazy.
Yeah.
And again, it was sent out to a lot of people all over the country. It had pornography in it. It was really, really sleazy.
Yeah.
And again, it was calculated to embarrass us and just, you know, sort of mortify us. That something like this would be happening to us. It was interesting, though. This thing was also passed around to our neighbors and stuff. And we were a little concerned at first when we saw this thing because it was really bad.
Yeah.
And if people believed it about us, it was going to be kind of embarrassing. But what we discovered was that Scientology is getting a reputation for such kind of I don't know what the word is for it. I guess sleazy or
sleazy authoritarianism.
Yeah, kind of bullying like that. You know, as if there's no such thing as free speech in this country. You know, or as if there's if somebody doesn't have the right to be critical of something, they certainly have the right to be critical of whatever they want to be, but apparently it's a very one-sided thing. But fortunately, we've had a lot of support. You know, our friends, our family, our neighbors have been nothing but terribly supportive and understanding, and really all of these things that Scientology has been doing to us have made people sort of very proud of us for being able to withstand it more than anything else. So it doesn't turn out to have really had a very, you know, an effect that they really wanted to have.
You said your husband went to testify in Germany, and what is their status in Germany now?
In the state of Hamburg, they've been ruled as a business, and they have to register now as a business, and they've been found not to be a religion, which is a fairly serious thing because, well, like in this country, you know, a religion, there's freedom of religion, and religions, groups that have the status of a religion are able to do a lot of things that everybody else in the country isn't supposed to do.
Right.
You know.
I mean, how do you think they got their tax-exempt status? I mean, it's just. Do you think there was something questionable about that?
Well, yeah, I do. I'm really not. I don't know how they did that. I know that the IRS was investigating pretty seriously for a number of years. I also, there were a couple of people who were willing to testify for the IRS who settled with Scientology and were paid money by Scientology to sort of make a 180-degree turnaround about things that they had testified about Scientology and stuff like that.
What is the group status elsewhere? I think you had mentioned in France they're persona non grata also.
Well, apparently in last summer, there were some indictments brought down in France. I'm not really sure about the details of it. But there have been indictments brought down in Spain. You know, the president of Church of Scientology International, Huber Gensch, is under indictment in Spain. I think extradition procedures are being looked into at this point. In Great Britain, in England, there's been a lot of really bad publicity. There's been publicity in England about some of their more dangerous practices, one of which has to do with their treatment of people who are driven into psychotic episodes by their auditing. They're not given proper medical care. They're kept isolated from other people. They're kept under guard. No one is allowed to talk to them, and they're basically just kept away from society until they come out of it. If they do.
Have there ever been any charges of like physical force being used against people? Or?
Well, it's kind of a shadowy subject for Scientology. There was one court case I know in Los Angeles that we worked on where quite a bit of research was done about suicides that have happened, Scientologists who have committed suicide, Scientologists who have been murdered, Scientologists who have died under very questionable circumstances. But nobody's ever been brought to trial for that kind of thing, and it's certainly an area that that they would protest vehemently being accused of.
They have a celebrity center. I guess they're obviously a definite large interest in celebrities. So how did this? Do they focus on this specifically? Is this important to them?
Oh yeah, Hubbard wrote quite a few directives telling Scientologists specifically to go after celebrities because of their PR value. And they're treated with absolute kid gloves. They're given the red carpet treatment. They have no idea about what the group is really like that they're involved with, because their celebrity value is huge. There have been articles where Tom Cruise is praising Scientology, John Travolta is praising Scientology, and this is worth gold, obviously, for Scientology. So they take very good care of these people. I know there was some press generated as a result of a declaration that somebody, a former Scientologist, wrote about the fact that some of this people that were in those prison camps that I told you about did a lot of the work, building an apartment for Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, creating some sort of an athletic field for them, tennis courts, workout room, all this kind of stuff. And this was all done with slave labor, basically, people who were being paid $5 a week and being kept up around the clock, and it was being paid for with church money, which is not supposed to be used for those reasons, and all this kind of stuff came out in a lot of articles. And Tom Cruise's reaction was just absolute fury and just absolute refusal to believe that such a thing was possible. And yet, I know it's possible. I was up there. I mean, it's what happened. But David Miscavige has become Tom Cruise's best friend. Cruise said so. Well, he didn't say he was his best friend, but he said in an article, I can't remember what magazine it was in, but a recent interview with Cruise, he said that Miscavige is a great guy, and this and that, and Miscavige has really personally taken on that very enjoyable job, of hobnobbing with the celebrities and making sure that they're treated with the absolute best. And